Okay, today we're going to be talking about the concept of thermoregulation. With thermoregulation, if you break it down, you have two root words here. So thermo means heat. And if you look at the word regulation, regulate, you're going to regulate heat. So thermoregulation is the concept meaning of regulation of heat. And the way that we do that is what thermoregulation actually means is the balance of heat loss versus production. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today on how, as far as heat is either lost in our body or how we increase or have production of heat. So we're going to break it down. And as far as how we transfer heat, there are two forms that we transfer or we lose or produce heat. And one is the core and the other is surface. So as far as our core, what does that mean? What that means is it's kind of like whenever you're checking your temperature and they tell you to check it rectally because it's more constant, more realistic. So that's where you're going to get your core temperature within, okay? And then surface is, if you think of the S, you look at S, it's going to be for skin or environment. So, environment. So, if you're looking at surface and what your environment is, you're looking at whatever is around your system that's going to change the temperature around you. So, if you're outside and it's snowing, then your skin is going to get cool. Or if you've been working out and it's a warm room, then the environment around you, that's going to warm you up. So those are the two forms of temperature that your body helps regulate temperature in general. So we're going to break that even further by talking about factors that affect temperature in heat production versus heat loss. I'm going to start with heat production, and then we'll transfer on over to heat loss, and then talk about the physiology part about it. So, as far as heat production, what are some forms that cause heat production? I'm going to start with your BMR, and this is something that we learned prior to nursing school. So BMR is your basic metabolic rate. It's what it's the essential part of maintaining activity within your system. So your BMR, your muscle activity, how would this increase heat production? Muscle activity. So if you think about working out, if I were to send you outside to go run 5 laps and you come back inside, is your heart rate going to be the same? And are you going to be cool or are you going to be hot? You're going to be hot because you just exerted energy, which is going to produce more heat. So that's where muscle activity can be a form of heat regulation. Now, another form is going to be your thyroxine output. What is thyroxine, or where does this hormone come from? If you look at thyroxine, that comes from your thyroid. And your thyroid helps with metabolism. So, kind of standing back forward to your BMR. So, thyroxine output. As far as your thyroxine output or your thyroid is working, then your metabolism is going to help with your heat production. Another form are your hormones that talk about, we're going to break it down to epinephrine, norepinephrine, and your just your fight or flight. And as well as